So Origins Season 2 is here, and Technoblade is yet to join in the server, so today we're going to be going through a collection of Origins that I found over the past couple of months that I think would be best befitting for Technoblade to play with. These 4 Origins I'll be showcasing today are picked mainly because of the fact they either showcase a certain aspect to how Technoblade plays Minecraft, or how he acts in the Dream SMP, or just themed off of some of his channel-wide memes such as the Blood God meme. Either way, before we get into this, I'd like to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button down below and leave a like, and let's get started. Starting off with a piglin-based Origin, we have the Origin known as the Balling, created by the Discord user known as Dan's Other Clones. The pros that you have as the Balling Origin is that you're overall tougher than normal, food will give you more saturation, you also have a rage state which will activate when you're at half health. Your disadvantages, or your cons of which, is that you're slower than normal and you also take more damage when you're on fire and attack. The beauty of this Origin is it's not quite that overpowered, nor is it that much underpowered. It's kind of like a nice little balance and a nice little change of pace on how you typically would play the game. Good another quirk about this Origin, it doesn't force you to spawn in the Nether, instead it just spawns you in the overworld like most other Origins tend to do, as the idea behind this is to make you more themed off of a pig more so than a pig man, but you basically are a pig man at the same time because, well, you're a Minecraft with the origin of a pig. But because of that pig origin based idea, you're also a little bit more fatter and more chubby than normal. This does mean that you're overall a little bit slower because your unhealthy appetite has you more slower than usual because you got a lot more weight on you. It just means you have 30% less speed. It's not really that much of a difference, but what comes with that is you also take 50% less projectile damage, and you also take 75% knockback resistance, which is a huge amount of bonus knockback resistance by default, meaning that most knockback won't affect you too much, especially once you have 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓴𝓼 armor on, which also defaults to get rid of some more of your knockback ability as well. And then of course there is the rage state that I mentioned earlier, which is also known as the Hog Wild ability. Basically, once you reach below half health, you gain 30% attacks and speed at the same time, meaning that not only you're going to be a little bit faster, it doesn't exactly fully it counters your heavyweight ability entirely, mean you'd be back to a normal Minecraft player's speed, but you also do a little bit more damage, which is also very useful at the same time. But just make sure you don't play with fire, because you are basically a pig, you do smell of pork, especially cooked pork when you're set on fire. It just basically means enemies are more encouraged to attack you, dealing 50% more damage to you whilst you're on fire. The moment you're no longer on fire, they'll be back to normal damage, but you'll still take a fair bit when you are on fire, so be very wary of lava and fire around other mobs. Moving on to something in the complete and utter opposite side of the scales here, we've got an overpowered Origin known as the Blood God Origin, created by the Discord user known as Manuel Pokey. Basically, it's themed after the Blood God meme from Technoblade, which is actually inspired by Blood God from, I think it's Warhammer, I've been told a million different times in comment sections for the original in-depth video on this Origin. But briefly going over the abilities, you have fire and fall damage immunity, potatoes give you buffs, you do more damage with an axe, you can fly, and you also have permanent strength and speed. Your ability allows you to go to half health and be able to one-shot anyone, but anyone can one-shot you. You do not like being in closed spaces, and you also must be high up in the air in order to sleep. So basically said, this is a very overpowered Origin, and I've already said that at the start of this, but I just wanted to make sure to reiterate that that's the point of it. It's not meant to be something that's balanced and fun to play, and this will most likely never get added to the Origins SMP, but I thought it was a cool overall Origin just because of its inspiration and how overpowered it is. But going through a few of the more annoying abilities, you've got something such as the Potato King, where potatoes give you effects. Raw potatoes will give you speed 2, baked potatoes will give you strength 2, and poisonous potatoes will give you resistance 2. Giving the poisonous potatoes a use for goddamn once, but we all know that that's like one of the biggest gripes again with Minecraft, as it's kind of intentional for it to be the most useless item there can be. But again, that's your own opinion with that one. Then we've got the Technoplane ability, which is of course the ability to fly. Not much to match that one. But then of course your permanent strength and speed boost is actually known as the 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓴𝓼 ability. If Techno was being a manhunt, he would have feel fast and be strong, granting him permanent stream and strength. Basically, it's just the idea of what Technoblade would be like if he ever got into a manhunt, which he would be a bit overkill, but you know, that's just how it is with Technoblade. And then of course you have your main ability, which is your double-edged axe. Basically speaking, you go down to half a heart and get given strength 255. You can one-shot anything, and anything can one-shot you. It's all fair game, it's on whoever's the smartest one out of everyone. Anyway, since this is a Technoblade's favorite thing to spawn in the Dream SMP, we have the 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓴𝓼 Origin, which is basically just a Wither Skeleton and a Wither Origin mixed into one. The pros that this Origin has is that Wither Skeletons and Blazes will not be hostile towards you unless you attack them. On death, you'll leave a weather effect as well as the rose. You'll also be able to deal Wither effect on hit, and you're also going to be able to use a Wither Star to evolve yourself into a Wither for 5 minutes before being forcibly killed. You're also immune to the Wither effect, and you spawn with a stone sword for extra detail. But your cons are you deal a little less damage than normal, you're also a little bit more unlucky, which is a kind kind of like a little tag thing to your character, and you have to regularly kill in order to not take damage over time, and you also have exhaustion more often in sunlight, meaning your hunger goes down quicker. Going back a few steps to your Wither ability, if you consume a Nether Star, you'll give yourself some buffs. Not only will you give yourself the ability to fly, you will not take fall damage, you have 44 total HP instead of the normal 20, and you will also have strength 4. In 1.16 version of Origins, you will also be able to throw Wither Skulls on this Origin as well, but unfortunately that's kind of a bug with the 1.0 version of Origins, which may or may not get fixed in the future, but basically speaking, you become a Wither for 5 minutes, but after 5 minutes you will be forced to die because your human counterpart is not strong enough to let you fully evolve, holding you back. There are of course a few more other things you want to keep in mind when you're playing around this Origin. Another really interesting thing is you'll be spawning in a Nether fortress by default. You may immediately think, oh no, this is not going to be a good thing, but remember, both blazes and Wither skeletons will not attack you on sight unless you attack them first. But if you attack one blaze, all blazes within range of you will also start to attack you, so just be very careful in what you choose to do. But as always, the whole Nether spawn thing isn't exactly fun in a single player world. Another thing is you're considered as an undead entity, meaning that healing potions and damage potions will act the exact utter opposite towards you than what they would normally do so. And then if you're using the Pinnacle version of this Origin, you will be a little bit taller than normal as well, being around 3 blocks. Another interesting quirk with the whole more exhaustion in the sunlight ability, it will actually be disabled if you're wearing some form of armor helmet. It does not count pumpkin or mob heads though, so keep that in mind. Lastly, we've got an Origin based upon his pure PvP skills that Technoblade showcases in nearly every single video. This is called the Blade Warrior Origin, created by the Discord user known as Silver. Going through the perks of this ability, you have an ability that gives you not strength, resistance, and regeneration for a few seconds. You have the ability to give the Wither effect upon hit. You spawn with a powerful enchanted iron sword. You have a super jump for your secondary ability, and you have increased damage with both swords and axes. Moving through the cons of this ability, you exhaust far faster than the normal player. You are unable to use shields whatsoever. You also cannot use crossbows or bows, and you can only wear diamond and netherite armor. As I said earlier, this Origin's main theme is to be themed after the pure legendary status that Technoblade's PvP skills are, as he is pretty much unmatched against any other Minecraft YouTuber, at least the popular ones at this point in time. And this Origin just converts his power of PvP into a slightly overpowered Origin, meaning that it isn't exactly greatly balanced and is definitely overpowered, but it's also quite fun to play with as well, as it doesn't give you something wildly overpowered such as the ability to fly. If you want to see some cool Origins such as these ones, I do highly suggest you go check out the channel known as Satin, as he does cover a lot of different Origins. He's got a good collection of videos over there, as I do over here on my channel, but I don't intend to continue with Origins. So either way, make sure to hit the video that's on screen there. YouTube thinks you should watch it, and I think it's a really good video. And until next time guys, bye bye.